putting together this video, and as you can read by the title, it's an interest video. Joints from grapefruit sculpin. And what I'd like to do is gauge the interest on doing a 2015 hop experiment. And I've already run this by SJ, and he's cool with me doing this. He's got the challenge going on, him and the other guys. This has nothing to do with that. This is its own thing. Basically what I want to do is kind of repeat what I want to get back to the experiment side of kind of where the challenge came from. I'm not really interested in doing the malt at this time, which is the only one that hasn't been done. They did the hops, they did the yeast. To me, maybe the malt will be something we'll do later. I'm a hop head, so I want to do the hops again because I did not get to participate in the very first one that they did. I actually became a brew tuber about the time that was, everybody had already got their beers and traded them, and they were doing the reviews, and that was one of my introductions to the community. And so I would like to repeat kind of a version of the hop experiment. And what I propose is I'd like to see if there's about somewhere between 5 and 10 people on the East Coast and 5 or 10 people on the West Coast that would be interested in doing this. I've already talked to Colorado fly fisherman Travis. If you're not watching his channel, you like sour beers, got any interest in that at all, he's big into that. He's a cool dude. Check his channel out. We've talked about it, and what we're going to do, if there's enough interest, is I'm going to be the East Coast hub, he's going to be the West Coast hub, and what we're going to do is a regional trade. So the people in the East Coast will swap beers, the people on the West Coast will swap beers, and what we're going to do is we're going to do new hops, basically. A American IPA recipe using American 2-row base malt, a little bit of Crystal 40, a little bit of Carapils, and just using one hop with a recipe that I've created. That'll be somewhere around, depending on 75 to 85 IBUs. It's not my usual 100 and 250 IBU beer, so you can not have to worry about that. I don't know, some of you like that, so that's cool. But if you're interested in participating in this, just leave a comment below and let me know, and we'll gauge how much interest there is. I've already got a list of hops that we're kicking around using, and it's basically a bunch of experimental hops and a lot of the new ones that, like Equinox and Azaka and Yarilo, which I recently used. I've used several of them already, but there's a lot of them that I just haven't got to yet. And this is kind of one of the reasons I want to do this, is because I want to check these hops out, and I don't want to have to brew 10 batches of beer to figure out whether I like them or not. So this will give everybody a chance to try all these new, and every one of them are dual purpose hops, so we're going to use them for all through the recipe: bittering, first wort hop bittering, flavor and aroma, hop stand, and dry hopping. So basically you're going to be required to brew an all grain beer. You're going to be able to do a yeast starter. The temperature control, we talked about that. You're going to have to be able to keep your beer somewhere between 68 and 70 degrees, basically under 70, at least for the first 3 days, so it doesn't develop hot alcohol taste to it. After 3 days, you can raise it up, let it finish out. We've got a schedule that we're going to use. I'll get into the specifics a little more once we determine whether or not there's enough interest in it or not. So if you are interested, leave a comment below. Travis is going to put up another video basically saying the same thing, and gauge the interest on the West Coast, because he's in Colorado, I'm in North Carolina. And if there's enough interest to where somebody else wants to be a hub in the Midwest, then we could talk about that. But for right now, we're trying to keep it somewhere between about 5 to 10 people per region, so it doesn't jack the shipping costs up astronomically. This is going to be restricted to the U.S. Sorry, everybody overseas, but I'm not interested in getting into the whole international shipping thing that more power to those guys in the SJ Pour Challenge for doing that. That's hardcore shit, and I've shipped stuff international, and I know what it's like, and it's a lot of paperwork, and it's very expensive, and we're trying to keep this to reasonable cost. So I'm going to have to restrict this to the United States. If you guys over in Europe or Canada or any other part of the country watching this video think this is a great idea, then do it yourself in your area. Do a video like I'm doing, gauge the interest, and it would be awesome to see you guys do something like this in your region. But right now, let's just keep it small, about 10 people per region, including myself, including Travis. So that's opening up somewhere between 4 to 9 more people per region. If you're interested, let us know. Once we gauge whether there's enough interest for it or not, then we will go from there and give out the recipe, the hop list, and all the other stuff, and then we will figure out whether we're going to do this or not, and I hope we do. If we don't, then I guess I'll be brewing 10 batches of beer with each one of these new hops over the next year or so. Love me some grapefruit sculpin. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Leave a comment if you're interested, and then we will go from there, and then we'll be back in touch with you once we figure out whether there's enough people to do it or not, and then we'll either move forward or it'll never happen. So we'll see. Cheers.